Well, hello, City of Henderson residents, and welcome to another edition of our virtual talk shop with the cop. Obviously, we have been looking at creativity to make sure that we're continuing to communicate with our public. Hopefully soon we'll be able to get back to meeting in person. So without further ado, I'm going to allow everybody on the panel to kind of introduce themselves. And there'll be some additional members that'll join us. I'm Chief Dedrick Anders with the Henderson Police Department. And before I let the panelists talk about some of them that's going to discuss, I'm going to step away here and allow one of our other captains who will be a part of this panel today and having some conversation with you about all of the great things that are occurring in our community. But first, I would be remiss without saying thank you for your support, your help, for all that you continue to do to build partnerships with our police department. We are one of America's premier police departments because we have a premier community, such as our Henderson residents and business owners. We thoroughly appreciate and enjoy the level of engagement we have with you. It is very important for us as a police department to ensure that we continue to have these type of forums so that this is our report card back to us, but also our opportunity to continue to enhance police community relations. And that's what the big deal is here. When you think about the climate that we're in with social distancing and trying to think outside the box on how we work with community members, we're going to continue to press challenge ourselves to make sure that we're doing it on a more consistent basis, as you see with our Chiefs Community Forum, as well as Talk Shop with the Cop. So again, this is a casual event. Many of you all that may be involved virtually know that typically we're at a coffee shop or somewhere here in the city and we're just having conversations. And that's what this is today. It's for us to have just a casual conversation, talk about our police department and some of the tremendous things that we have going on. And it'll give us an opportunity, hopefully later on, if not, to kind of share some exciting news that we have going on. I think many of you, if you haven't heard, at Tuesday's council meeting, our new station that's scheduled to be built and hopefully be scheduled to open sometime in fall of 2022 was approved by our wonderful mayor and council. And I just want to say thank you to Mayor Deborah March, as well as all of our council members, Dan Shaw, Dan Stewart, Councilman John Morris, and Councilwoman Michelle Romero for their faith in our police department and continuing with the city's strategic plan of community safety being that #1 item. Thank you. And to our city manager's office, we couldn't do it without you. We appreciate your faith in continuing to build police services out west because we know that community is growing at an astronomical rate out there, and we got a lot of infrastructure and business coming in place and so many exciting, beautiful residential communities that will be erected in the years to come. So we appreciate your partnership. We appreciate your collaboration. I just wanted to make sure I said thank you on that. And lastly, before I step away here, to the City of Henderson police officers and our professional staff members, thank you. Thank you for coming to work each day, believing in procedural justice, understanding the importance of our values, honor, professionalism, and dedication. I'm just one person who leads a great team of individuals, and I could not do that without you. So without further ado, I'm going to step away from here. I'm going to have Captain Isaac Ken to join this team, and they're going to get started with some of their discussions about what's happening in your area of our community. Thanks.
Okay, so my name is Eric Buck. I'm the captain of the West Area Command. That's the station on Green Valley and Paseo Verde. We cover all the West area, pretty much everything south of the 215, between the 15 and the 95. So as far as the crime stats in the West Area Command, they're looking good. We don't have any huge problems in the West Area Command. I'm happy to report. Some things I would like to bring up and talk to you about, though, is first and foremost, schools starting back up on Monday. We have a lot of schools in the West Area Command. Those school zones will be active. We will be patrolling those. Please, 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 slow down, be careful, and look out for the kids Monday. I know we're used to seeing school zones with no kids in it. Well, there's gonna be kids in it again, so please, I beg everybody to be careful in those school zones. Also out west, if you've been up or down St. Rose lately, you'll notice a lot of construction, and there's gonna continue to be a lot of construction. Please be careful. Watch out for construction zones, obey the speed limits. We were doing enhanced enforcement out there as well. So with that said, I can say the biggest nemesis we have out in the West Area Command is people's cars being broke into. And this is 90% of the time, these crimes are avoidable if you simply lock your cars. A lot of times these are just opportunists walking through neighborhoods. We see them on video, checking door handles, seeing what's unlocked. If it's unlocked, then they go shopping and they see what's available in your car. If you don't have any valuables in your car, then you don't have anything to lose. The other thing is garage door openers. If you park outside, please don't leave your garage door opener in your car. I know it's convenient when you get home to open your garage, but the problem is when somebody gains access to your car and you have a garage door opener, now they have access to your house, and it becomes a whole different situation. Remember too, as it gets warmer and people are going to gyms, restaurants, parks, shopping centers, lock your cars. We have a lot of theft happening at gyms and whatnot because people see you go in, they know you're going to be away from your car for about an hour. So it's very important that you lock your cars and don't leave anything of value. If you do, lock it in the trunk where you can't see it. A lot of times when we catch these violators breaking into cars or homes or whatnot, it's through video. It's through neighbors' videos that people provide to us. They give us a video of a vehicle or a person that we're looking for. Which brings me to my next subject is the Ring app. The Ring doorbell has an app. It's called Ring Neighbors. It's absolutely free. The police department has gotten behind it. We use it. We use the Ring app. You do not have to have a Ring product. You don't have to have any product. You can simply download the app for free. It connects you with your neighbors. It's all crime and safety related. They vet it out. There's nobody on there trying to sell you window washing or sell their couch on there. It's simply crime related. The police department does monitor that app. We look for crimes in our area. We look for series. We look for information that can help us catch people committing those crimes. Additionally, if we have something going on or concerns, we can push messages out to the community, advising them of things that are going on and things to look out for. And then on the other side of that, we can request video. It's just a very easy app for citizens to submit video. So if we have a crime in your neighborhood, although you may not be the victim, your cameras may have caught the person on the street driving or walking up and down the street, and that can help us locate who committed the crime. It's 100% voluntary. The police do not know who does and does not participate in that, but I can tell you numerous times we have gotten valuable video from neighboring houses that had cameras that shared that information with the police and helped us identify a suspect. We also have a capture program, which I think Sergeant Holman's going to touch on. If you're not app savvy or you don't want to get that involved, we have a much simpler program for submitting videos, and he will touch on that here shortly. Some other things is the see something, say something. If my officers go in and out of your neighborhoods and they look for suspicious activity, the problem is we don't always know what's suspicious, where you do. We may see people moving in, moving out. It looks totally normal to us, but you as neighbors, you know who belongs there. You know who comes and goes. You might know who's out of town, and there should or should not be couches going in and out of that house. So it's imperative, if you see something, please, if you don't think it's an emergency, call 311. That's what it's there for. If we're doing, a lot of times people say they don't want to bother police. A, you're not bothering us. B, if we're busy doing more important things, we will put that in the stack and get to it when we can. So it's not impeding our efforts. However, we need you. The community is our force multiplier. When the community sees something suspicious, they're usually right, and we need that information to be forwarded to us so that we can come investigate and see if something hinky's going on or not. Which rolls me right into my next point here, is to know your neighbors. That they are your first and foremost, they are your best protection against theft or damage to your property. Your neighbors, when they know you, they know your car, they know when you come home from work, they will know before anybody if something suspicious is happening in your house. And I know here in Vegas, a lot of people don't know their neighbors. We go in the garage door and shut the door and we don't get to know each other. That's where Neighborhood Watch is great. It helps you get to know your neighbors. It brings awareness to the community so we can help each other out and identify when there is a problem in the community. The next thing, a lot of issues we see on the west side are juvenile related. Please, if you have kids, know where they are. Keep track. Remember, school's back in, so curfew on a school night is 10 p.m. Curfew on a weekend is 12 p.m. A lot of times, a lot of the damage or vandalism we see at parks or in neighborhoods or juveniles, when we do catch them, the parents a lot of times had no idea what was going on. So please keep track, know where your kids are, and make sure they adhere to the 10 o'clock on a school night. And then finally, I'll bring up a lot of questions I get is the arena being built on the corner of Green Valley and Paseo Verde. A lot of people are concerned about traffic and crime in the area, and when that gets open, I can assure you we're taking a hard look at that. We're working with traffic to see how traffic's gonna flow in and out of that arena when events take place. Additionally, we're looking at arenas of the same size in other towns to see what impact they have had on their community. So we are in touch with with everything that's going on with that building and how it is going to impact that community there. So with that, that's kind of all my bullet points. Or do we have any questions?
Can you talk about the West Station, the availability of the desk officer and the importance of filing police reports?
So sure, we have a West desk officer. That desk is manned Monday through Thursday, 7:30 to 5:30. There's always a police officer there. They accept reports over the counter. We encourage people to use that desk. It's a lot quicker if you call for an officer to come to your house, which we're happy to do. But if you need a quick report, you can go in and you can see the desk officer there, and he'll take a report for you and give a report number.
What if I can't drive? What about online reporting?
Okay, so we have online reporting. It's through the City of Henderson website. If you have a case that there's no evidence and you have no idea who the suspect is, you can file a report online and get a report number for, say, an insurance company or if anybody needs a report number, or call if it's not an emergency, call 311, and there in no case will we not send out a police officer. We're always happy to send somebody out. Depending on the call load, it may take a little longer, but that's always an option. We'll never not come out.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Question.
Traffic?
Traffic. Hi, everyone. My name is Isaac Henn. I'm the captain over our Operations Support Division, which includes the traffic unit. To talk a little bit about traffic, to give you an idea of the size of our unit, we're approximately 15 officers. We have 3 parking enforcement officers as well. Our overall goal is to affect driver behavior and improve transportation safety through the 5 E's, and that's education, encouragement, enforcement, evaluation, and engineering. Our traffic officers currently work Monday through Thursday. We are looking to expand into Fridays, and they work both a day shift and a swing shift, so you'll see them out most of the times during the heavy traffic heavy traffic times, the rush hour traffic times. They are sometimes stretched a little thin. As everyone probably knows in Henderson, we've got more than 40 schools, Clark County School District schools. We also have another approximate 40 or so private schools, charter schools, religious schools, preschools, and all of those have school zones that are enforced around that area, as Captain Buck just talked about. So our traffic officers are very mindful of the safety of our children as they come and walk to and from schools, and we do our best to make it to all the school zones and try to be a presence and help with enforcement as well. Some of the other things that we do is we participate in a number of task forces and grant programs that kind of are force multipliers for our unit. One of those is joining forces. It's a nationwide program. It's a multi-jurisdictional program that promotes statewide enforcement. It focuses on the major causations of motor vehicle accidents. And the main focuses are, they have events that run monthly, and they are focused on impaired driving, speed, pedestrian safety, seat belts, and distracted drivers. And so you will see press releases that we send out. We always notify the public before we embark on a specific campaign, so that everyone knows that that's what we're out looking for this month. And that is an educational component that we're trying to let people know to please be mindful of this particular violation during these couple of weeks that we'll be out there working. The other thing we do is we participate in the Southern Nevada Traffic Task Force, and that is all of the agencies in the valley, and we get together on a monthly basis and we saturate a particular area to affect driver behavior and basically improve safety there. And usually it's going to be a trouble area where we get a lot of complaints about speeding or whatever the violation is for that particular time. And that's what I've got for traffic. I'll be happy to take any questions.
Regarding the speed limit signs, when children are present, can you please clarify those?
Absolutely. So the school zones specifically are all marked that the times in Henderson are not on the speed limit signs. They just say when children are present. And what that means is in the half hour before the bell and a half hour after the bell, when you see crossing guards out, children are expected to be present. During the middle of the school day, while children are physically at school, but they're not out walking on the sidewalks, parking lots, things like that, then we are not enforcing the school zone speed limit. Does that help?
I believe so. What can we do about getting more speed limit signs on Paseo Verde by Pacific Cascades? Most do not obey the 35-mile-an-hour rule.
Okay. I will get that information. I'll forward it on to our traffic engineering folks. They're always receptive to reevaluating certain areas where we're getting complaints or where citizens feel that there just isn't enough signage, and I'll be happy to do that.
What if somebody has complaints about speeding or cars that are racing or things like that? How can they make a complaint on that?
So there's a couple of ways. You can go to our City of Henderson website and under Contact Henderson, and you can type in your complaint there. We get those very, very regularly. And you can also call the traffic hotline, which is 702-267-5099. You'll leave a message. We check those messages every single day, and then we forward those on to the traffic officers to check on the area and enforce.
How do they find, like for the Joining Forces program that you mentioned, how are those areas for the speed enforcement chosen?
A lot of times those areas are chosen because of high number of crashes or high number of complaints. So we try to go to where the problems are.
Okay. There's another question wanting more clarification on school zones for high school.
High school,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
High school is the same as every elementary and middle school. Although there aren't any crossing guards out to give you the visual reminder, generally speaking, if you don't see children, high school students for that matter, in this particular case, out coming to and from school, then we are not enforcing the school zone. So just the fact that kids are in school does not make children present in that case, if that clarifies.
Okay, I think we're good.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, I'm Sergeant Chris Holman. I'm with the Neighborhood Resource Unit. This is a brand new unit to the Henderson Police Department. We haven't had the unit much for a very long period of time. It just got started essentially this last year, around the September timeframe. We are part of the Community Relations Bureau or section, and a new unit related to that. And we'll be focusing on neighborhood issues that are happening in the city of Henderson. So our main concerns for the neighborhood is ongoing or simply demands more time and attention that a patrol officer who responds to the area may be able to offer at that particular time. The Neighborhood Resource Unit will be able to get involved in that and help by giving a little bit more quality time to neighborhoods within the community. Some of the responsibilities that we'll get involved with, to start off with, we'll end up having officers assigned to each area command. Right now we have 2 officers, full-time officers that are assigned to the Neighborhood Resource Unit, and we'll be expanding that as manning allows in the future. And our goal is to have 1 officer for each area command and a supervisor as well. What we are trying to do is engage the community in more of a meaningful manner so that we have quality time with you, the citizens of Henderson, and with the police department, where we can address issues or areas of concern with the police department and areas of concern that you have in your neighborhood. Some of the programs we get involved with are the Neighborhood Watch program, which has been around for a very long time. It's a national program. We have our own little flair on it, but we really think the program is very valuable to the community. We're reaching out to some of the communities that have had Neighborhood Watch for many years. So please don't be offended by us reaching out and just checking in with you to make sure everything is going well. We're trying to engage the community more, make sure that there's things that we can do to improve our customer service essentially with you, partner with you, and to help reduce crime in your area, including the Neighborhood Watch programs. So we're just trying to make sure that we're staying in contact with you. If you have any questions for Neighborhood Watch, that we're able to address those. Maybe it's time to rejuvenate your Neighborhood Watch program in your area. So we're doing some phone calls. We're also sending out some emails just to folks that have previously registered with us to make sure that we're still on board, that we're still on track, and if there's anything the police department can do to help you and your community. Other programs that go hand in hand with the Neighborhood Watch, Captain Buck already kind of mentioned the Capture program. We're working at expanding the Capture program to not just work into the residential environment, but possibly into some other environments as well. The Capture program is super simple. It's probably the lowest level as far as ease goes to register for the program. All it is it's a registration program. It tells us that once you register your residence or potentially later on a business with the Capture program, it tells us that you have video cameras available that may be functioning outside of the home as well as inside of the home. And that could help us identify potential suspects of crimes or suspicious behavior or other incidences that are going on, including traffic accidents in some cases. And so if you register your cameras with us, it just lets us know on our mapping system that you may potentially have a camera that may have caught something. It allows you to put in the locations that you have your cameras, the areas or the direction that the camera faces, so we know if it catches something on the street or maybe to the north direction. And if that's where our incident occurred, we can reach out to you by phone in some cases, but more than likely by email and let you know, hey, could you please check your cameras, see if you caught this particular incident, and you could send that information directly to us because you'll have our contact information. It's very valuable. We're not going to use your information for anything other than to help us solve crimes. And that just helps us when we're out on patrol too at night to know who has cameras in the area, because at night it's harder to see a camera on a house than it is during the daytime hours. Part of that program also allows us to come back out through your neighborhood, and this is where we're able to help. It's kind of a new option that we're doing for the Neighborhood Resource Program. We can follow up after a crime has occurred. Some of the ways we've been doing that is if there's a residential burglary or a car break-in series that's going on, between the time the patrol handles the call and the time if investigations gets assigned the case, there's potentially a few days gap in there. And so when we know that this is an ongoing series, the Neighborhood Resource Unit will come out, we'll knock on doors, we'll walk the neighborhood, we'll look for cameras that maybe our patrol officers missed, or we'll do follow-up if we've already contacted you and just ask, have you had an opportunity to check your cameras? Were we able to pick up that video from you? Is there any new information that you might have? And that's to kind of bridge the gap between the time lapse between patrol and investigators getting assigned that case. And we've had some pretty good luck with that over the last few months, finding additional information or videos related to cars and things. So you'll continue to see that. We also are working with the Neighbors app. It's a very good app. We like the app a lot. It's super simple to use. As Captain Buck mentioned, you don't have to have a Ring doorbell system. You can have any video surveillance camera at all and sign up for the Neighbors app and be able to share your video through the Neighbors app. But we can also send information out to you through that app as well, and you can communicate with us. The nice thing about Neighbors is it hides your identity from other neighbors, so it usually puts a notification on there that it's your neighbor 25. But anytime somebody from the police department sends communication out, it tells you right on the Neighbors app that this is a police officer. It'll say something like Sergeant Holman from the Henderson Police Department is requesting access to your video, or Lieutenant Dennison from the West Area Command is requesting access to some video. And you have to choose to share that video with us. We're not going to be able to see your camera system, nor would we want that. We just want to be able to partner with you to get potential suspect information and good relevant video for us. So we encourage you, if you haven't signed up for the Neighbors app, to go ahead and do so. Our PIO's office will continue to use the Nextdoor app to also send information out, but these will be used in conjunction with each other. We are planning the National Night Out. Hopefully, if COVID continues to to lift and people are getting vaccinated and so on, we'll be able to have National Night Out in person this year. Tentatively, we have it scheduled for October 5th. The time of the event is still to be determined. The location of the event is still to be determined, but it's something to look forward to. And we'll continue to update you as we get closer to October 5th. So we look forward to hopefully being able to see everybody in person again here shortly. In addition to the things I mentioned already, we're also working on building additional relationships with stakeholders in the community. We want to get to know more of our different cultures within the community and community partners that are doing good work here in the city of Henderson. We want to build a relationship with you to help address other issues that the police department has, that you may have, that the police department could get involved in. And so if you are one of those stakeholders, if you are a person who volunteers with a nonprofit or something like that, and you're doing business or you're helping the citizens in Henderson, please reach out to the Neighborhood Resource Unit. We'd like to get to know you a little bit better. Recently, we had the pleasure of going over to the Equality Center of Southern Nevada, who supports the LGBTQ community and the rest of the residents of the city of Henderson. We had a great meeting with the director over there, Chris, and it was a pleasure to get to meet that community and welcome them to the neighborhood. We're going to be continuing to work with engaging our youth as well. Once COVID lifts, I know it's been a rough year where a lot of kids haven't had a lot of socialization. They're starting to get back to schools. We want to continue to build on that. So once the COVID restrictions start lifting and we're able to get in person again, we're going to start working on building our police athletic league program back up and really build that so we can partner with the different schools, both the religious organizations, schools, the charter schools, as well as public schools, and see if we can't get more kids involved in the police athletic league and mentoring with the children at that time. We'll also be involved with homeowners associations. And we're doing some other community engagement events. At Thanksgiving, we were able to do a turkey drive, which was a huge success. And for Easter, we got a little Easter surprise that'll be coming out around Easter weekend. So don't be shocked if you get a little surprise when we see you out and about. And don't forget to wave, to smile, to just say hi to the officers in the community. We really love it when you guys do that. It's a blessing to us, and it just helps to build a relationship with our community partners out there. We mentioned that there's a bunch of concerns that we have in the area. We put a lot of public service announcements and a lot of good information up on the YouTube website as well at the City of Henderson Police Department on YouTube. There's some public service announcements that are out there, talks about residential burglaries, how to keep your car safe, and some other safety tips. So if you'd like more information on those things, go check out our website, our YouTube channel, and you'll see some great videos there as well. So I hope that's a better introductory statement there for the Neighborhood Resource Unit. We look forward to partnering with our community, and we're thankful that we get this opportunity to work with you every single day. Yeah, are there any questions for me?
As a police department, what are you doing for the homeless population?
That's a great question. So we interact with the homeless probably on a daily basis. And so we're offering what services we have. We're offering resource guides, which allow the homeless folks to take advantage of some of the services that we do have. We work with business partners that have homeless that, sometimes we'll set up on their particular property, and we try to help get the homeless off from no longer being homeless. Some homeless folks are resilient to that, or resistant to that. They don't necessarily want help, and so we just make sure that we keep offering to help them if we can. If they need medical attention, we summon medical attention. A lot of officers will even provide a meal for the homeless if we know that they're hungry or something like that. And that's where partnering with the community also will be a big component. So we know there's religious organizations, there's food banks, there's other services that provide medical care, and that's what we're trying to partner with, is those folks that can actually really improve the quality of life for the homeless individual and for those that are in need, that we partner with them to figure out how we can help that homeless person or those people that are in need to better their situation and improve quality of life for all of the city of Henderson.
You mentioned contacting the NRO area. How do they get a hold of you?
So we're part of the community relations section, so you can call 267-5100, and that's a 702 area code. We also have a good presence on the City of Henderson Police Department's website. So we've got a lot of the different registration programs there for Capture program. You can get more information about some of the other services that the community relations section offers. And that's the other half of the neighborhood resource side. We're all under the community relations section, including education programs and so on for youth. And you can find more information there, and there will be a contact button right there as well.
Is the Resiliency Center a part of the PD?
So the Community Resource and Resiliency Center is not a part of the police department, but we are partnering with them to engage our community. And that's a great benefit that the city of Henderson has realized and is bringing to the community. And we'll be partnering with them. The fire department will be partnering with them. A lot of social groups will be partnering with them. And there's a lot of exciting things in the works with the Community Resource and Resiliency Center that's coming online shortly.
Are NRO officers able and willing to attend HOA or neighborhood watch meetings?
We absolutely are, and we encourage that. So as I mentioned earlier, we're trying to get the neighborhood watch program revitalized in certain areas and to come alongside those active neighborhood watch programs that are currently in existence. We can help with homeowners associations, usually just to do like an educational thing. And we'll be glad to partner with you at homeowners associations as well. So you can send, for neighborhood watch questions, you can send an email to neighborhoodwatch@cityofhenderson.com if you'd like information by email, or you can go ahead and give that phone number a call at 702-267-5100.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Danielle Harney. I'm your animal control administrator. Currently, we have 5 animal control officers for the city of Henderson. Those officers work 7 days a week, from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. We encourage people to file complaints via Contact Henderson and the website, or you can also call 702-267-4980 and leave us a message. The officers are out in the field responding to all of your complaints. So some of the main complaints, especially that we're getting right now, is the weather warms up and people are enjoying our parks and our trails more, our dogs off leash. It's a continual problem that we have here in the city. We understand that we have 17 beautiful dog parks. We encourage people to use those if you want to have your dog off leash and play ball. The baseball fields, the soccer fields, the school areas, those are not places that are appropriate to have your dog off leash. No matter how well you think your dog's behavior is, we get calls on a daily basis about someone's dog running away, chasing someone, getting into an altercation with another dog or a person. And it's usually because those animals aren't restrained properly. And by that I mean to actually have your dog on a leash and have a hold of the leash. Just because your dog's connected to a leash, if you let it drag the leash and run around the park, doesn't mean the dog is actually being controlled by you. So our statutes under our HMC Title VII are all available on the website. We have pretty strict regulations regarding our leash laws. Again, your animal needs to be connected to the leash and then connected to you at all times while you're out walking the paths, unless you're in a designated dog park area. Some of the things we also like the community to look out for is dogs, stray dogs that are loose in the neighborhoods. One of the things that we get quite a few complaints about are stray animals that are running loose, both dogs and cats. Both dogs and cats do have to be restrained to your own property. For the most part, I would say, you know, if you live in a neighborhood where you know your neighbors, you know where the dog or cat belongs. So being able to know your neighbors and say, hey, you know, you left your garage door open, you know, Fluffy was out down at the mailbox, you know, we just wanted to let you guys know, that can work towards building those neighborhood relationships versus just calling animal control. Of course, if Fluffy isn't nice when he's out, we obviously want you to call us so that we can go and address that immediately. Some of the other complaints that we're getting right now, due to the weather being nice, is barking dogs. So this is a problem that usually occurs in the springtime and the fall time when people like to open up their windows and enjoy our wonderful weather. Again, we encourage you to know your neighbors, like Captain Buck said. If you talk to your neighbors and can have that open kind of communication, a lot of these type of issues can be resolved simply by having a discussion with your neighbor. A lot of times people don't realize that their animals are barking when they're not home. We do live in a 24/7 town. The barking ordinance is 24/7, so it's not just from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. It's at any time during the day. If the barking is excessive and is of an ongoing nature, that's when it actually becomes an issue. But if you can just speak to your neighbor, or even sometimes leave them a note saying, hey, I'm not sure if you're home, but your dog was barking from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. and he's done so every couple of days. Can you mind keeping him inside? Those kind of notes, a lot of people have absolutely, again, no idea. So before filing that complaint with us, where we will send an officer out to speak with that person, we always encourage you to just speak to your neighbor about those things. And then if an officer does come to your house about a barking dog, we will do standard information for you. We'll ask if your animal is spayed or neutered. We'll also ask if you have a current pet license. We can look up that information in the computer. You can access that information also via our website to make sure that your animal is spayed and neutered and registered with the city of Henderson. The little tag that you get from your vet hospital, that's usually just a rabies tag. In order for your pet to actually have a pet license with the city, you need to give us the paperwork for the little tag that your veterinarian gives to you, and you register that animal with the city of Henderson so we can put that information in showing that your animal is spayed and neutered and current on your rabies vaccine in order to get that city of Henderson pet license. You can either do that by mail and print out the application, or you can go down to the shelter in person at 300 East Galleria anytime between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday through Saturday to license your pet. It's $10 for a spayed and neutered pet, and it's $5 if you're a senior citizen to license your pet. Some upcoming events that we have, starting this Saturday, we're gonna be doing Spring Into Adoptions. It's our third or fourth year doing this event. We're gonna be offering all the pets off, half off their adoptions. So we encourage you to look online on petharbor.com and pick our shelter, and you can see all the animals that are available for adoption. We do encourage meet and greets if there's a dog that you're interested down there. Again, if you bring your dog into the shelter to do the meet and greet, it does need to be spayed and neutered and licensed. We do not do meet and greets for dogs and cats, so please keep your dog at home if you wish to adopt a cat. And we do have plenty of other animals sometimes down there as well, guinea pigs, hamsters, birds. So we always are encouraging people to look online for our adoptable pets. Are there any questions?
The 24/7 drop-off area is no longer available. What do we do now with found strays?
Good question. Yes, our 24/7 drop-off area has actually been closed for about 3 years now. The reason for that is because we're the only open admission animal shelter for the entire city of Henderson. So in order to make sure that the animals we're taking into our shelter are just from Henderson residents, that after hours drop-off area was closed. However, if you do find a stray pet after the officers are no longer in the field, you can call the police non-emergency number, and if a patrol officer is available, a lot of times they can pick that animal up and transfer it to the shelter for safekeeping to where we can process it in the morning on our stray list. The other thing you can also do is if you're comfortable keeping that animal overnight, is to keep it secured overnight and then just leave us a message saying that you found a stray animal and you need it picked up first thing in the morning. And we check our messages every day, first thing in the morning and before we leave for the night to look for those type of calls.
Are you ever gonna be able to do anonymous complaints for animals? I did an online complaint for a noise and dog out in the heat all day. The owner came out to my house after and I thought I would have to call 911.
So you can report welfare complaints anonymous. You are protected under our laws as far as reporting animal welfare complaints. However, if you're reporting a barking animal or a noisy animal complaint, you cannot remain anonymous. The difference between those two is that when the officer responds for a welfare complaint, they can validate if the complaint is actually valid or not, meaning they can see is the animal left out in the yard with no water when it's 110 outside. We don't need to know who that person is that's reporting that concern to us. But if you're reporting a barking or noisy animal, when the officer arrives, they can't state that the animal has been barking for 3 hours because we haven't been there for 3 hours. We don't know if it's been going on a repeated basis or not. So barking or noisy animal complaint, we have to know who that person is that is the victim of that type of complaint. So that's the difference between filing a noisy animal complaint, where we need your information as the victim, and filing an animal welfare complaint where we don't necessarily need to know who's complaining about the animal's condition.
Recently, this person was at a car wash and had a guy come in with a puppy and was trying to sell him and others they had in their car, temporary California plate, didn't look like a typical dog owner. Didn't know what, if anything could be done, but something wasn't right about that whole situation. What could they have done?
Yeah, the best thing to do when you see those kind of pop-up dog selling stations is what we call them, where literally they'll lift the trunk of their vehicle or put a little sign in the back of the pickup truck, is to call the police non-emergency phone number as soon as possible so that we can get an officer out there. Those animals can be seized under the right circumstances, and those people can be cited for illegally selling those animals, whether they're a Henderson resident or not. So, and anyone who breeds and sells animals in the city of Henderson has to have a permit from us, as well as through business license. So just general information, if you are looking for a pet, don't be hesitant to ask that person, what's your breeder permit number? I want to see the paperwork. If they're not giving you that information, or they're telling you, hey, just meet me in the Walmart parking lot, those should all raise red flags that these people are probably not responsible breeders, and they're not following the law. And then you open up yourself to purchasing possibly a sick puppy or an animal that hasn't been cared for correctly. But if you see those pop-up locations or other type of possible illegal breeding operations, we recommend you guys call us as soon as possible so we can start investigating those.
If you could just reiterate the contact information for the animal shelter, if there's any complaints, problems, or licensing questions.
So the animal shelter is located at 300 East Galleria. The hours of operation open to the public are Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can print out your license application online. You can either mail that in with proof of your current rabies vaccine, or you can actually come down to the shelter in person to have that done. What was the other part of the question?
Just the licensing, the contact information, maybe
Yes.
an email address if there is one.
Yes, so again, and you can always utilize the Contact Henderson. Under animal control complaints, we have lots of different type of complaints that you can file on there. You can just follow the guidelines. You can also phone in at 702-267-4980 and leave a voicemail for an officer to respond to.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, Deputy Chief. Okay, sorry.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mike Denning. I am the Deputy Chief of the Support Operations Bureau of the Henderson Police Department. And what I would like to talk to you about just briefly is our recruitment process for becoming a police officer with the City of Henderson. We're very proud to have our own police academy here at the City of Henderson. We're currently running our fourth police academy and recruiting for our fifth police academy. We'll be starting a new academy in July of 2021. And we'll be prepping academies immediately following that session. I want to encourage anybody that's interested in a career in law enforcement to apply at joinhpd.com. You can gather information about our recruitment process to include the physical fitness test, the oral board selection process, as well as the background and screening process. We look forward to recruiting the best and brightest for police officers here in the City of Henderson. I also want to encourage anybody that's interested in a career in a support area of the police department, such as a dispatcher, to also go to our website to gather information on how you can learn about a career as a police dispatcher and apply for a position here with the City of Henderson. Once again, we're very proud to have our own police academy. We're confident that we provide some of the best training you're going to get in the country. And we have an amazing staff with the Henderson Police Academy that we conduct physical fitness boot camps to help you prepare And we're always available to answer any questions or any apprehensions you might have about going through our process through our recruitment and backgrounds office. So please reach out and ask any questions that you have to our recruitment and backgrounds office, Sergeant Sandy Lubinski. And you can also go to our website at joinhpd.com. Thank you very much.
Do have one question that came through about recruiting. He says that he has his oral board with HPD in a few months. Is there anything specific that we look for in those?
That's always a great question. And the best answer I can give you is, one, do your homework, do your research. There's lots of information that you can gather online. Some of it's good, some of it's not. What I would encourage you to do is do your own research. Right now, unfortunately, we're not able to offer ride-alongs with the City of Henderson. However, as restrictions continue to lift, we'll be reevaluating that with the COVID-19 protocols slowly starting to lift. But I would encourage you, if you've done your homework and you really want a career in law enforcement, you can contact our background and recruiting office and ask to sit down with somebody here on the police department. We can set you up with a recruiter to ask questions about our process. And if you've lived a great life and you have kept yourself clean, then you come in and you present yourself in a very professional way in the interview and do your homework. I think you'll do very well in our recruitment selection process.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Michael Blow. I'm the new Deputy Police Chief here with the Henderson Police Department. And I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm very excited to be working with the great men and women of this agency and also to be working with you. And I just look forward to having the opportunity to see you, particularly once we get out of this COVID environment and we're able to get together again and shake hands and just have the opportunity to speak in person, to working with you. And again, I just look forward to being here. I'm very excited. We have, as you already know, we have a great team of men and women here that serve you every day. And I'm just looking forward to working with you. Thank you.